You sound like someone. Someone nobody checks on.
You don't sound like someone who is living, the blind woman said quietly. Caleb froze. Across from her, the billionaire who owned half of New York let out a short, empty laugh. That's funny, he replied, because everyone else thinks I have everything. The woman tilted her head slightly. Then why do you sound so empty? The candle on the dining table had been burning so long it had formed a small pool of wax around its base. Cole Weston sat at the head of a 12-chair table. Only one plate was used. The rest of the chairs stood perfectly aligned, untouched, like they were waiting for people who had long stopped coming. Outside the glass walls of his Manhattan penthouse, the city was alive. Cars moving, lights flashing, people laughing somewhere far below. But inside the room, there was no sound except the soft hum of air conditioning. His phone vibrated on the table. He didn't need to look to know who it was. Marcus, his brother. Cole answered without emotion. Hey, Cole, happy birthday. A pause. Then the real reason came, like always. I need help. Cole leaned back slightly. How much? Marcus hesitated. 50,000. I swear this is the last time. Just until I get back on my feet. Cole already knew it wasn't true. It never was. I'll send it, Cole said. No questions? There's never new information in your answers. Silence. Then Marcus exhaled in relief. You're a lifesaver, man. I don't know what I'd do without you. Cole ended the call. No goodbye, no emotion. Just silence again. He opened his banking app, entered the amount, confirmed. Done in seconds. $50,000 disappeared like it had never existed. Cole looked at the 12 chairs again. One of them slightly turned, as if someone had left in a hurry years ago. He didn't remember when the table stopped being full, only that it had. His assistant had sent a reminder earlier. Birthday dinner. Personal. He stared at it, then turned the phone face down. The candle flickered. Cole whispered, almost to himself, another year. The flame bent slightly in the air conditioner draft and went out. And in the sudden darkness, Cole didn't move. Not because he was calm, but because he was used to nights like this. And that was the worst part. The sun rose over Vermont like it always did. Slow, soft, and indifferent to everything human. Lily Hartman was already awake before it fully appeared. The small farmhouse was quiet, except for the faint creak of wood as she moved through it. She didn't rush. She never rushed. Her hands moved with quiet certainty through the kitchen. Cup, kettle, spoon, sugar jar. Everything had a place. Everything stayed where memory left it. 2 years of blindness had turned her world into something else entirely. Not darkness, but structure. A world built from sound, texture, and repetition. Still awake before the sun, came a voice from behind her. Her uncle, Ray. She didn't turn. I sleep. Just not when you think I should. Ray walked in slowly, his slippers brushing the wooden floor. You should rest more. I am resting, she said calmly. Just not lying down. He sighed, watching her carefully like he always did. Not because she needed help, but because he was afraid she would eventually need it. There was a pause before he spoke again. The clinic called. Her hand stopped for half a second, then continued pouring water into the kettle. I already know what they're going to say, she replied. Ray didn't answer immediately. That silence told her everything. She turned slightly, not facing him directly, but close enough to feel where he stood. How much this time? She asked. Ray hesitated. 42,000. The number didn't surprise her. It had been circling her life for months now, like something waiting for permission to become real. She set the kettle down carefully, not loudly, not dramatically, just carefully. "I'm not selling the field," she said immediately. Ray frowned. "Lily, no." Her voice stayed steady, but firmer now. "That field is not just land. That's Dad's work. That's everything he built. We don't sell it because life gets hard." Ray stepped closer. "Then what are we supposed to do?" Lily didn't answer right away, because there wasn't a simple answer. That was the problem. Instead, she turned toward the window. Even though she couldn't see it, she always faced it in the morning. The light still meant something to her. "I'll figure it out," she said quietly. "That's what you always say." "And I always do." Ray looked at her longer this time. Not angry, just worried in a way he couldn't hide anymore, because he knew what she wasn't saying, that she was tired. Not physically, but in a deeper way. The kind of tired that comes from carrying something alone for too long. Lily picked up her mug and walked toward the door. She opened it by memory. Cold morning air touched her face immediately. She paused there for a moment, letting it hit her skin, letting it remind her she was still here, still standing, still herself. "I'm okay, Ray," she said softly. But she said it the way people say things they want to believe more than they actually do. And behind her, Ray didn't respond, because they both knew she wasn't falling apart. Not yet. But something in her life was quietly starting to bend. The black sedan rolled down a quiet stretch of Route 9 just outside Millhaven. Inside, Weston stared at his laptop screen. Rows of numbers. 3 unanswered emails marked urgent. 2 acquisition reports. A schedule so packed that every hour of his day already belonged to someone else. He barely noticed the countryside passing outside the window. To him, it was all the same. Road, trees, sky. Just things between one meeting and the next. Then the car suddenly slowed. Cole looked up. A few seconds later, it pulled onto the shoulder. He frowned. What happened? Thomas, his driver, glanced into the rearview mirror. "Flat tire, sir." Cole looked out the window. The road stretched in both directions. Empty. Quiet. Nothing but open fields and distant farmhouses. "How long?" 20 minutes, maybe 30. Cole closed his laptop. For a moment, neither man spoke. Then Cole reached for the door handle. "I'll walk." Thomas looked surprised. "Sir." "I'll be nearby." The driver nodded. Cole stepped out of the car. Immediately, he noticed the silence. Not real silence. Birds, wind, leaves moving somewhere in the distance. But compared to Manhattan, it felt silent. The air smelled different too. Fresh, clean, like rain and soil. He loosened his tie slightly, something he almost never did before a meeting. Then he started walking. There wasn't much to see. A mailbox, a gravel driveway, a weathered barn. Then, about 50 yards ahead, he noticed a small roadside produce stall. It looked handmade. Simple wooden shelves, fresh vegetables arranged in neat rows, small jars of honey, bundles of herbs tied together with twine. And sitting behind the stall was a young woman. Cole slowed. She looked to be around his age, maybe younger. Her sleeves were rolled up. Her hair was tied loosely behind her head. One hand rested on a basket of tomatoes. The other moved carefully across them, feeling each one, checking them, almost as if she were reading them. He stepped closer. A wooden planter sat near the edge of the stall. His shoe clipped it. The planter scraped loudly against the gravel. The woman's head lifted immediately. "Careful." Cole stopped. Sorry. Those are basil. There was a hint of amusement in her voice. I spent half the morning keeping them alive. I'll try not to undo all your work. That would be appreciated. For the first time, the corner of her mouth lifted slightly. Cole found himself smiling back, something that happened less often these days than people imagined. He looked over the vegetables. Business good. Depends who's asking. He glanced toward her. What does that mean? It means if you're a health inspector, business is excellent. That caught him off guard. A laugh escaped before he could stop it. She smiled a little more. Good. At least you have a sense of humor. Some people would disagree. Then they probably don't know you very well. The answer surprised him, mostly because she had said it so casually, as if she weren't trying to impress him or get anything from him. She simply said what she thought, a rare quality. He picked up a tomato. How much? $4 a pound. I'll take 2 pounds. You cook? No. Then why are you buying tomatoes? He considered that. Honestly, that's usually how conversations work. Another laugh. A second one. 2 in less than 5 minutes. That might have been a record. Honestly, he said, I don't know. She reached beneath the counter and pulled out a paper bag. Then she began selecting tomatoes. Her hands moved carefully, confidently, by touch, not sight. Cole watched quietly. 1 tomato, then another, then another. Something about the way she worked seemed unusual, not wrong, just different. Her eyes weren't following her hands, not quite. She finished filling the bag and extended it toward him. Except the bag wasn't pointed toward him. It was slightly off to the side. Just enough for him to understand. A realization moved through him, quiet, sudden. He reached out gently and guided the bag into his hand. For a second, their fingers brushed. She became still, very still. Then she gave a small smile. You figured it out. Cole didn't pretend otherwise. Just now. Most people would have immediately apologized, or started acting uncomfortable, or spoken more softly, as if blindness were something fragile. Cole did none of those things. Instead, he simply asked, How long? 2 years. I'm sorry. She shrugged lightly. It wasn't your fault. The answer made him pause. No self-pity, no bitterness, just fact. He found himself studying her, not because she was blind, because she seemed completely at peace with herself. And that was something he rarely encountered, especially among people who had everything. What about you? She asked. Cole came back the next morning. Lily heard him before he spoke. The same steady footsteps, the same expensive car parked nearby, the same strange feeling that he didn't belong here and yet somehow fit anyway. You came back, she said as she arranged bundles of herbs. You sound surprised. I'm a little surprised. Cole smiled. Is that a bad thing? I haven't decided yet. He laughed softly and stepped closer to the stall. For a while, they talked about nothing important. The weather, the farm, a dog that kept stealing vegetables from a nearby stand. It was easy. Almost too easy. Then it happened. Lily reached under the counter and picked up a small jar of honey. You should try this, she said. It's the best thing we sell. She held the jar out, but not toward him. A little to the left, her hand remained suspended in the air, waiting. Cole looked at her, then at the jar, then back at her. For a brief moment, everything clicked into place. The way she never looked directly at what she touched, the way she tilted her head when listening, the way she seemed to know where people were by sound alone. Without saying a word, he stepped forward and gently took the jar from her hand. Lily became very still. "You know now," she said quietly. "Yeah." The word hung between them. She waited. Most people reacted the same way. Questions, awkwardness, pity. A sudden change in tone. She braced herself for it. Instead, Cole simply unscrewed the jar, tasted a little honey, and nodded. "You're right." Lily frowned slightly. "About what?" "This might actually be the best thing you sell." For a second, she just stared in his direction. Then she laughed. A real laugh, the kind that escaped before she could stop it. And just like that, the tension disappeared. Cole handed the jar back. "So how long have you been running this place?" Lily blinked. That was it? No awkward questions? No sympathy? No careful voice? Just a normal conversation? "About 2 years," she answered. "Do you like it?" "Most days." "What about the other days?" She smiled faintly. "Those are none of your business." Cole laughed. "Fair enough." The morning breeze moved softly through the herbs. For a while, they simply talked. And for the first time since losing her sight, Lily found herself relaxing around someone who knew the truth. Not because he ignored it, but because he didn't make it the most important thing about her. And for Cole, something else happened. For the first time in years, he spent an entire morning talking to someone who wanted nothing from him. No deal, no favor, no money, just conversation. When he finally stood to leave, Lily surprised herself. "Will you be back tomorrow?" The question slipped out before she could stop it. Cole smiled. "Probably. Probably. I don't want to seem too eager." Lily shook her head, trying not to smile. As he walked away, she listened to his footsteps disappear down the gravel road. And for reasons she couldn't explain, she was already looking forward to hearing them again. Cole kept coming back. At first, it was easy to justify. One more morning, one more conversation, one more cup of coffee from the small diner down the road before stopping at Lily's stall. But then one morning became 3. 3 became 5. And before he realized it, nearly 2 weeks had passed. His assistant was calling more often. His board members were becoming impatient. His schedule had become a mess. And for the first time in years, Cole didn't care. Every morning, he found himself driving down the same road. Every morning, Lily was there, sorting vegetables, arranging herbs, listening to the world around her with a focus that fascinated him. "You know," Lily said one morning, "most people don't visit a vegetable stall this much. Maybe I really like tomatoes." "You bought tomatoes once." "Good point," she laughed. Cole found that he was starting to live for that sound. It was strange. He had attended parties with celebrities, dined with presidents, negotiated billion-dollar deals. Yet somehow, a blind woman laughing at a roadside stall felt more important than all of it. One afternoon, his phone rang while they were talking. He glanced at the screen. Board meeting. He silenced it. Lily heard the vibration stop. "You should answer that." "I don't want to." "You don't even know who it is." "I know exactly who it is." She smiled. "You're avoiding responsibilities." "I'm taking a break." "From what?" Cole looked out toward the open fields. The answer came before he could stop it. "My life." The words surprised both of them. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Lily said quietly, "That sounds exhausting." Cole laughed softly. "You have no idea." The truth was, he was changing. Not dramatically. Not all at once. Just little things. He slept better. He smiled more. The constant pressure in his chest had started to ease. And the strangest part, Lily didn't know who he was. Not really. To her, he wasn't a billionaire. He wasn't a CEO. He wasn't a man whose name appeared in financial magazines. He was just Cole. A voice. A friend. A man who showed up every morning. And for the first time in a very long time, that felt like enough. As the sun began to set that evening, Cole sat beside Lily on the old wooden fence near the edge of the property. The sky stretched endlessly above them. Lily tilted her face toward the fading warmth. "You know what's funny?" she asked. "What?" "I have no idea what you look like." Cole smiled. "That's probably for the best." "Oh, expectations are dangerous." Lily laughed. "Maybe." Then she became quiet. "So are assumptions." Cole looked at her. She couldn't see him. Yet somehow, every conversation felt like she saw more than most people ever had. And for the first time in years. Cole found himself hoping she never stopped. It was their 6th evening sitting on the old fence behind the farm. Neither of them had planned for this routine to happen. It just had. Every morning they met at the stall. Some evenings they ended up here. Talking. Listening. Existing together. The field stretched out in front of them. The air was cool. A gentle breeze moved through the tall grass. For a while, neither spoke. Then Cole broke the silence. "Can I ask you something?" Lily smiled. "You ask me things every day. This one's different." That made her curious. She turned slightly toward him. "Okay." Cole hesitated, then asked quietly, "Are you happy?" The question lingered between them. Lily didn't answer immediately. Instead, she sat quietly, thinking, the way she always did when a question mattered. Finally, she spoke. "I have happy moments." Cole waited. "Mornings like this." She smiled softly. "When the air smells like fresh rain." When Ray burns breakfast and pretends he meant to. When I hear children laughing somewhere down the road. Her smile faded slightly. "But happiness all the time?" She shook her head. "No." Cole looked down. He understood that answer, more than she knew. Lily folded her hands together. "The hardest part isn't the darkness." Cole listened carefully. "It's forgetting." "What do you mean?" Her expression softened. "I remember colors." She paused. "At least I think I do." Cole stayed silent. "My mother's kitchen was yellow." A small smile appeared. A very specific yellow. She laughed softly. "She used to call it Sunday morning yellow." Cole smiled. "Sunday morning yellow?" It made sense when you saw it. The smile slowly disappeared. "I'm scared one day I won't remember it." Cole turned toward her. "What?" "The colors." Her voice was quieter now. "Every year they're a little harder to picture." She swallowed. "I'm scared I'll forget what yellow looked like." For a long moment, neither spoke. The weight of that confession settled gently between them. Then Lily cleared her throat. "Enough about me." She turned toward him. "My turn." Cole already knew what was coming. "Are you happy, Cole?" The question hit harder than he expected. He stared out across the field. The answer was right there. Simple. Painfully simple. "No." Lily didn't look surprised. "When was the last time you were?" Cole thought about it. Really thought about it. Then a memory surfaced. "I was 26. Lily listened. "I was broke." That made her laugh. "You? Broke?" "Very broke." "Now I know you're lying." Cole smiled. "I'm serious." He leaned back against the fence. "I had a tiny apartment. Terrible furniture. No money. But I had 2 friends working beside me every day." His smile softened. "We believed we were building something important." "What happened?" Cole's expression changed. The answer wasn't complicated. but it wasn't comfortable either. We got successful. Silence. Then Lily nodded slowly, as if she understood exactly what he meant. I think, she said carefully, you spent so much time building your life. She paused. That you forgot to live it. Cole looked at her. No one had ever said it that way before. No board member, no therapist, no friend, because there really weren't any friends left. Just people, meetings, responsibilities, expectations. Lily turned her face toward the evening sky she couldn't see, and Cole watched the sunset she couldn't witness anymore. The oranges, the gold, the fading blue. All the colors she was afraid of forgetting. And for the first time since meeting her, he found himself wanting something more than another business deal, more than another company, more than another success. He wanted Lily to see the sky again, and that thought scared him, because it mattered, and anything that mattered had the power to hurt. The next morning, Cole arrived at the stall earlier than usual. Something felt different. Lily wasn't there. Instead, her Uncle Ray stood near the side of the barn, speaking on the phone. His voice was low, frustrated, tired. Cole wasn't trying to listen, but as he walked closer, a few words reached him. $42,000. A pause. Ray rubbed his forehead. I know the surgery can't wait forever. Another pause. I understand the risks. Cole stopped walking. The surgery. For a moment he said nothing. Ray continued speaking. She's stubborn. A tired laugh escaped him. Just like her father. Cole looked away. He suddenly felt like he was hearing something private. Something he wasn't supposed to know. A minute later, Ray ended the call. When he turned around, he noticed Cole standing there. For a second, neither man spoke. Then Ray sighed. You heard. It wasn't a question. Cole nodded. Some of it. Ray looked toward the farmhouse. Lily doesn't like talking about it. Why? Because she hates feeling helpless. Cole understood that, more than Ray realized. A few minutes later, Lily arrived. She immediately sensed the tension. You both look guilty. Ray laughed. Cole didn't. That was enough for Lily to know something was wrong. The morning passed more quietly than usual. By afternoon, Ray had gone into town for supplies. Only Cole and Lily remained at the stall. Finally, Cole spoke. Why didn't you tell me about the surgery? Lily froze. Her fingers stopped moving. For several seconds, she said nothing. Then she quietly asked, Ray told you? No. Cole shook his head. I overheard a phone call. Lily looked away, or at least in the direction she usually looked when she wanted distance. It's not important. Cole stared at her. It's important to you. No. Her voice sharpened. It's expensive. That's different. Lily folded her arms. No, Cole, it's exactly the same thing. Silence stretched between them. Then she spoke again, more quietly this time. You know what happens when people help? Cole waited. They expect something. Her jaw tightened. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not intentionally. But eventually. Cole listened. I watched my father borrow money when the farm struggled. Her voice became softer. I watched good people help him. She swallowed. And every single time it cost him something. Cole could hear the emotion underneath her words. Not anger, fear, pride, pain, all mixed together. I don't want to spend my life owing people. The words landed heavily between them. Cole looked down at the dirt road, then back at her. What if nobody asked for anything back? Lily laughed once, a sad laugh. That's not how the world works. Maybe sometimes it is. She shook her head. No. Cole was quiet for a moment. Then he said something he hadn't planned to say. What if someone wanted to help because it mattered to them? Lily's expression changed slightly. He continued, what if they weren't trying to save you? What if they just cared? The silence that followed felt endless. Neither of them moved. Neither of them looked away. Finally, Lily spoke. Why? The question was barely above a whisper. Why would it matter to you? Cole opened his mouth, then stopped. Because the truth frightened him. It frightened him because it was real. When he finally answered, his voice was softer than she'd ever heard it. Because you're the first person in a very long time who made me forget how much money I have. Lily didn't speak. You're the first person who talks to me like I'm just Cole. He looked away briefly. And I don't want to lose that. For a long moment, Lily said nothing. Then she picked up a tomato from the basket beside her, turned it slowly in her hands, thinking, processing, protecting herself. Finally, she took a slow breath. I need time. Cole nodded immediately. Okay. She faced forward, toward the road, toward the sound of the wind moving through the fields. That means you should go home now. A small smile touched Cole's face. Even now, she was still Lily, still stubborn, still honest, still impossible. Okay, he said again. He stood up, and for the first time since arriving in Vermont, he walked away wondering if tomorrow she might not want him to come back. Cole barely slept that night. He lay awake in his room at the Millhaven Inn, staring at the ceiling. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard Lily's voice. Why would it matter to you? It should have been an easy question, but it wasn't, because the truth wasn't simple anymore. Somewhere along the way, this had stopped being about a surgery and started being about her. The next morning, he drove to the stall. For the first time since meeting Lily, he wasn't sure she would be happy to hear his footsteps, but she was there, arranging herbs, working quietly. She heard him approach. Neither of them spoke immediately. The silence felt different today, heavier, more fragile. Finally, Cole sat down on the wooden step beside the stall. Lily. She turned her head slightly. Yeah. There are some things I should have told you a long time ago. Her hands stopped moving. She already knew this wasn't going to be a normal conversation. Cole took a breath. My name is Cole Weston. Lily listened. I own Weston Industries. Silence. I live in Manhattan. Another pause. I have more money than I could ever spend in 10 lifetimes. The morning breeze moved through the herbs. Still, Lily said nothing. Cole stared at the ground, waiting. Finally, she spoke. I know. His head lifted. What? A small smile appeared on her face. I didn't know your last name. She shrugged lightly. But I knew you weren't ordinary. Cole blinked. How? The way people talk around you. He frowned. What does that mean? People become careful. She smiled slightly, even when they're trying not to. Cole thought about that. She continued. And your shoes. My shoes? They sound expensive. That surprised a laugh out of him. For the first time all morning, the tension eased. Lily smiled. I may be blind, Cole, but I'm not clueless. Cole shook his head. You really knew. I knew enough. For a moment, they sat quietly. Then Lily's expression softened. You know what I liked? Cole looked at her. What? The fact that none of that mattered here. She gestured toward the farm. The companies. The money. The buildings. None of it came with you. Cole didn't speak, because she was right. When you sat down beside me, She smiled faintly. You were just Cole. The words hit him harder than he expected. For years, people had wanted something from him. His money, his influence, his attention, his name. But Lily had wanted none of it. Only him. And somehow that felt more valuable than everything he owned. A long silence followed. Then Cole finally said, I still want to help. Lily lowered her head slightly. He continued, Not because I feel sorry for you. Not because I want something. Not because I think you're broken. His voice softened. I want to help because you told me you're afraid of forgetting colors. Lily became very still. The way you talked about your mother's kitchen. Cole swallowed. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Her eyes glistened. Though she couldn't see him, she could hear every ounce of sincerity in his voice. I want you to see that yellow again. The words settled between them. Neither moved. Neither rushed the moment. Finally, Cole spoke again. Please. A long silence followed. Long enough for the wind to move through the fields. Long enough for a truck to pass somewhere down the road. Long enough for both of them to understand that this decision would change everything. Then Lily took a slow breath and nodded. Okay. The word was barely above a whisper, but it felt enormous. Cole closed his eyes briefly. Relief rushed through him so suddenly he almost laughed. Or cried. Maybe both. When he opened his eyes again, Lily was smiling. A small smile. A nervous smile. A hopeful smile. And for the first time since arriving in Vermont, both of them were looking toward the future. Even if only one of them could see it. The hospital waiting room was almost empty. Just a few chairs, a coffee machine humming quietly in the corner, and Cole Weston sitting alone. The surgery had started 3 hours ago. 3 hours and 11 minutes to be exact. Not that he was counting. At least that's what he kept telling himself. His phone buzzed on the chair beside him. He didn't look at it. A few minutes later, it buzzed again. Then again. Meetings, emails, people needing decisions, people needing answers. The world kept moving. But for the first time in years, Cole didn't care. Because right now, there was only one thing that mattered. Lily. He leaned forward and rested his elbows on his knees. His hands were clasped tightly together. He couldn't remember the last time he'd been this nervous. Not during billion-dollar negotiations. Not during company launches. Not even when he nearly lost everything in his 20s. This felt different. Because money couldn't help him here. Power couldn't help him. Influence couldn't help him. All he could do was wait. And hope. His eyes drifted toward the operating room doors. Still closed. Still silent. He thought about the first day he met her. The roadside stall, the tomatoes, the way she had known he didn't cook. A small smile appeared, then disappeared. What if the surgery didn't work? The thought hit him hard. He immediately tried to push it away, but it returned. What if she never saw colors again? What if she never saw that sunrise she talked about? What if... He stopped himself. The waiting room suddenly felt too quiet. Cole stood and began pacing. 5 steps one direction, 5 steps back. Again, again, again. A nurse passed by and smiled politely. He barely noticed. His thoughts kept returning to Lily, to the evenings on the fence, to the mornings at the stall, to the way she always knew when he was lying, to the way she somehow saw through him better than anyone else ever had. For years, people had admired his success. Very few had cared about the man underneath it. Lily had. Without even trying. And somewhere along the way, that had changed everything. The operating room doors finally opened. Cole stopped pacing instantly. A surgeon stepped out. Cole was already moving before the doctor reached him. "How is she?" The surgeon smiled, and in that moment, Cole felt his knees nearly give out. The smile told him everything. The surgery went very well. Cole closed his eyes, just for a second. A breath he didn't realize he'd been holding escaped his chest. "The repair was successful," the surgeon continued. "Everything looks exactly the way we hoped." For a moment, Cole couldn't speak. Relief crashed into him all at once. Powerful. Overwhelming. Almost painful. "When can I see her?" he finally asked. "Tomorrow morning." The surgeon smiled again. "After we remove the bandages." Cole nodded. The doctor walked away. The waiting room became quiet again, but this time it felt different. Cole slowly sat back down in the plastic chair. Then he lowered his head into his hands. For years, he had convinced himself that nothing could truly reach him anymore. Not deeply. Not completely. Yet here he was, sitting alone in a hospital waiting room, feeling more than he had felt in years. And for the first time in a very long time, he was grateful for it. Because caring hurt, but not caring had hurt even more. So he stayed there, long after everyone else had gone home, long after the halls became quiet, waiting for morning, waiting for the moment Lily Hartman would open her eyes. The room was quiet when morning arrived. Soft sunlight filtered through the hospital window. Lily sat upright in bed. Her hands rested nervously on the blanket. The bandages were still covering her eyes. Beside her sat Cole. He had barely slept. His shirt was wrinkled. There were dark circles under his eyes, and for the first time in years, he didn't care how he looked. The nurse stepped into the room. "Ready?" she asked gently. Lily swallowed. "I think so." The nurse smiled. "We'll go slowly." Cole moved a little closer. Lily immediately sensed it. "You stayed." It wasn't a question. Cole smiled. "I told you that waiting room chair was uncomfortable." A small laugh escaped her. The nurse carefully began removing the bandages, layer by layer, slowly, carefully. Neither Cole nor Lily spoke. The room felt suspended in time. Finally, the last bandage came away. The nurse stepped back. "Keep your eyes closed for a moment." Lily nodded. Her heart was pounding. She could feel it. Cole's was probably doing the same. "Okay," the nurse said softly. "You can open them now." Lily took a slow breath, then opened her eyes. At first, everything was blurry. Shapes, light, movement. Nothing clear. She blinked. Once. Twice. Again. Gradually, the world began to sharpen. The white ceiling, the pale blue walls, the sunlight pouring through the window. Color. Real color. For the first time in 2 years. Tears immediately filled her eyes. She turned slowly toward the window. The sky, the trees, the morning light, everything she'd been afraid of forgetting, everything she'd fought so hard to remember. It was all still there. For a moment, she simply stared, taking it in, letting herself believe it. Then she turned her head toward Cole and saw him, really saw him, for the first time. He sat in the chair beside her bed, leaning forward slightly, watching her. His eyes were tired, his hair wasn't perfect, his shirt looked like he'd slept in it. And somehow, that made him look more real, more human, more himself. Lily stared at him, not because he was handsome, though he was, not because he was rich. That part didn't matter. She stared because she had spent weeks building a picture of him inside her mind. From his voice, from his laugh, from the way he spoke when he was sad, from the way he sounded when he smiled, from the silence he carried before he learned how to let it go. And now she was finally seeing the face behind all of it. Cole shifted slightly. A nervous smile appeared. "Well?" Lily laughed through her tears, then shook her head. "You look exactly like your voice." Cole blinked, then laughed. A real laugh. The kind she had heard so many times sitting on that old fence. The kind she had already fallen in love with before she ever saw his face. "Is that a good thing?" he asked. Lily smiled. Her eyes filled again. "It's the best thing I've ever seen." For a second, neither of them spoke. Neither of them needed to. Cole reached for her hand, and Lily squeezed it immediately, like she'd been doing it her whole life. The nurse quietly stepped out of the room, leaving them alone. Sunlight filled the space around them, warm, bright, hopeful. And for the first time since that wrong turn on a quiet Vermont road, neither of them felt lost anymore. 1 year later, the Vermont farm looked exactly the same. The fields, the barn, the roadside stall, the wide open sky. But Lily saw everything differently now. Every sunrise, every flower, every shade of green stretching across the fields. Nothing felt ordinary anymore. One Saturday morning, she stood near the fence where she and Cole used to talk. The same fence, the same field, the same breeze. Cole walked toward her. She smiled immediately. Some things never changed. "You still breathe louder when you're nervous," she said. Cole laughed. "I was hoping you'd stop noticing that." "Never." He stopped in front of her. For a moment, neither spoke. Then he reached into his jacket pocket. Lily raised an eyebrow. "Cole, I had a speech prepared." "That's dangerous." "I know." They both laughed. Then his expression softened. "I spent years sitting at a table with 12 chairs." Lily listened. "I had everything people dream about." He looked at her, and none of it meant anything when there was nobody to share it with. The breeze moved gently through the field. Cole took a breath. "I don't want to go back to that life." His voice became quieter. "I don't want another birthday alone. I don't want another empty chair." He held out a small ring. Simple. Elegant. Nothing flashy. Just real. Just like them. Lily Hartman. A smile appeared on her face. "Will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes before she could answer. Not because she was surprised, but because she had known for a long time that this man had become home. And home was something she never expected to find again. She nodded, then laughed through the tears. "Yes." Cole smiled, the biggest smile she'd ever seen. And for the first time in years, every seat in his future felt full. The following year, Cole Weston quietly funded a free rural eye care clinic in Vermont. He named it the Lily Fund. There was no press conference, no cameras, no headlines, just people receiving the help they needed. Because Lily taught him something that money never could. The most meaningful things you do in life are the things you do quietly. Before you go, if Cole and Lily's story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another unforgettable story. And if you love emotional stories filled with love, hope, second chances, and life-changing moments, I've created a special ebook just for you. Inside, you'll find 5 beautiful and inspiring stories that will keep you turning pages and leave you thinking long after you've finished reading. The link to the ebook is waiting for you in the description below. Grab your copy today and discover even more powerful stories that you won't find anywhere else. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. And remember, sometimes one story can change your day, And sometimes one person can change your entire life. Subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next story.